Something full. Okay. Hi honeybees, welcome back to my channel, and as you've seen by today's title, I'm going to be showing you all of the books that are currently on my physical TBR, which is pretty much a lot. It might not be as big as most booktubers, but it's pretty big, and I do have a lot more on my actual TBR, but this is just my physical one. So let's go ahead and get into the video. First, I'm gonna go ahead and start with all of the books on my TBR cart. Now, I did go ahead and add some of them that were on my library shelves, and I just put them over here because I couldn't fit them all in my bed within my reach, so they're over here. So these are not series. This one is If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nolan. You guys know that I put this on my TBR a couple of times and still have not read it. I am actually not ready for the emotional damage that this one will put me in, so I am really scared to read it and I haven't read it yet. But I have heard really good things about it, so I am looking forward to reading this eventually. I don't know when, but I will read this eventually. Another one I have is Forever Never by Lucy Score. This is the tropes of grumpy ex-sunshine, I believe, a second chance romance, childhood friends, and hometown romance. So it's got a little bit of everything that I love about Lucy Score already. So this is another book I have on my TBR that I'm looking forward to reading soon. Then I have a couple of Christmas books. This is Meet Me Under the Mistletoe by Jenny Bayliss. I have not read this book yet. I got it for last Christmas, but I did not end up reading it. And then I got another Christmas book by Susan Mallery. This is called Home Sweet Christmas. These are hometown romances, I believe, and they're Christmas romances, and that I'm looking forward to reading in the Christmas time or in the winter time. I haven't read these ones yet, but I am looking forward to reading both of these, so stay tuned for that. All right, and the next book I have is Beautiful Disaster. This is by Jamie McGuire. Now, I have not seen this book on anybody's TBR. I just picked this up when I went to Walmart because I was like, oh my god, the cover is so freaking beautiful. But what made me pick it up even more is that this is like the good girl gone bad kind of thing. So that was definitely one of the things that intrigued me, and I was like, I'm gonna pick this up, and here it is in my hands, and I'm gonna go ahead and read this eventually. I don't know when though. All right, and the last book that's over here that's not in the series is The Book Thief by Markus Zusak, I think that's his name. I really don't know. But this is about a girl who found a book at her father's funeral, and it began her book thieving journey. I'm not really sure, but this is one that I've seen on Book Talk, Bookstagram, and all that good stuff, and I've always wanted to read it, and it was also kind of like a mystery, and I love mystery books, so this was something that I picked up and thought I would be interested in, but I have not read it yet, so hopefully I'll read it soon. I think I told you guys before that I started the Summer I Turned Pretty series, and I still have the two books that I did not read from the series, which is It's Not Summer Without You and It Will Always Have the Summer. This series is by Jenny Han. I read the first book, but I have not finished the series, so I am looking forward to reading this summer actually. So hopefully you'll see this review of these two books soon. All right, and the next book that's on a series as well is Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. You guys know I read Things We Never Got Over, and it was such a beautiful book that I had to continue the series. So this is the second book in the Knock Me Out series, and I'm very ready to read this. Hopefully I'll read it soon. All right, so the next books that are also in a series that I have, as you know, I am currently reading The Dreamland Billionaires, and I put the fine print on my May TBR. And I have the rest of the two books, which is about Declan and Iris. This is Terms and Conditions. And then I have Callahan and Alana. This is The Final Offer. These books are both by Lauren Asher. The whole series is by her. But I am looking forward to reading these sooner or later, but we'll see what happens, I am already about to spoil some things, so let me be quiet. And the next books that are in the series I have are Once Upon a Broken Heart. This is by Stephanie Garber. And then I have The Ballad Never After by Stephanie Garber. Now this is I can't remember what the name of this series was called, honestly. I really can't, but I am looking forward to reading the both of these. These are fantasy books, and I've never really gotten to fantasy, so these are the books I grabbed too that are also for fantasy. And last but not least on this series of things on my TBR are A Magic Stepped in Poison and A Venom Dark and Sweet. These books are by Judy I. Lin, And this is also another fantasy series, so I am also looking forward to reading this sooner or later. Don't know when though. Okay, so on to the next part of this. I have See Me by Nicolas Sparks. Now, I've had this book for so long that even the pages have turned yellow, and that is sick. So, when I'll read this, I'm hoping very soon so that it's not in my library forever and it just ends up being a book I never read. But I don't really remember what this one was about, but I do know it is a romance book, and that's all I know. So, we'll see when I will read this. I don't know when though. Alright, next on this list we have The Silence That Binds Us. This is by Joanna. Now, if you guys have heard about the Asian perception or the Asian stereotypical parents, they're ones that push their kids to the limits of killing themselves. So, this is what this book is about. And there's some things going on in here, and I'm really hoping to read this one soon. I don't know when though. Alright, next up I have Every Moment After. This is by Joseph Moldover. You guys know I put this on my April TBR, but I did not end up reading it. So this is a book that hopefully I'll read soon. I don't know when though. Alright, another highly anticipated one that is also on my TBR is Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow. This is by Gabriel Zavin, and I'm very excited to read this one. This one's more of a futuristic kind of book. These are about college students, so I'm really looking forward to reading this soon. Maybe before I enter college myself, so we'll see. All right, and then another book I have is This Place is Beautiful. This is by Xixi Tian, and this is about two sisters, so I'm hoping to read this one soon. I really do love this book cover. Do you see it? It's just beautiful. The art of this, amazing. So I am really looking forward to read this one, and hopefully I love it, I'm looking forward to reading it. Alright, this next book is a part of a series as well, but I did not include it over there because I don't have the complete series with me. But this is a Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. This is the third book in the series by Holly Jackson. This is As Good as Dead. Now, I have been looking forward to reading this one, but I have not read it yet. I'm waiting for the right time, I guess, to read it. So I think it'll be later in the year. But yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this one. Another book I am highly anticipating to read is Lonely Castle in the Mirror. This is by Muzaki Tachimura, and I'm so looking forward to this one. This is about a girl who ended up dropping out of school because she was bullied to the point of dropping out, and she ends up locking herself behind her room so she doesn't really come out much. And in this mirror in her room, she goes behind and there is this magical castle, and the castle has this one room that will grant a wish, but you have to follow a certain amount of rules. There's 6 other people at this castle, so I'm looking forward to it. This is a fantasy book, and we'll see when I'm able to read this. Next up, I have Kiss Her Once for Me. This is by Allison Cutron, and I have not read this book. I got it from Book of the Month in December last year, but I did not end up reading it, so hopefully it'll be on my TBR very, very soon. Wink, wink, very, very soon. It is an LGBTQIA+ book, so we got some representation in here, so I'm giving you a hint on when I'm going to read this, Wink, wink. But, yeah. Next on this list is Love and Gelato by Jenna Evans Welch. Now, I have not read this one yet, but it has been on my TBR for quite a long time, so we'll see what happens when I'll read this, but it's giving summer vibes, so I may read it sometime in the summer, but I'm not really sure. It seems like a quick book, but I have no clue when I'm going to read this one, so look forward to that, Another book I'm really excited to read, I did end up finding this in my school library, but this is called Somewhere Between Bitter and Sweet by Lancali Kemp, and I'm so excited to read this because it is a first love story, so I'm definitely excited to read it. We'll see when I read this one, but wink, wink, it may be very soon. Another book I am really excited to read. Now, this is also another fantasy book, and it is also my first and last book and only book from Book Depository before it closed down. This is called 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim, and I am so excited to read this one. I'm really not too much sure about this, but this is about an unforbidden magic and all that good stuff. So, it has kings, princesses, swords, and kingdoms, which I really love to read, which is one of my favorite things to watch when it comes to Asian dramas. So this was just something that caught my eye, and I was like, I'm definitely going to read this one, so it. Next up on the list is It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. Now, I have read another Tessa Bailey book, but that was during Christmas time, and this is a summer book, so she seems to like the right things around the seasons. So When I'll read this one, probably during the summer. But will I read it this summer? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Alright, another interesting book I put on my TBR that I actually got from a little library that was at my school. This is A Tangle of Knots by Lisa Graff. This is a book about magic, so this is something that is really short and sweet at that. It's about a town that has like only magic powers. Everybody has magical capabilities. And then there's this guy who will take them away. And this girl goes on an adventure. I'm really excited to read this one. Don't know when I'll read it though. Another book I'm really excited to read is The Spanish Love Deception. This is by Elena Armas. Now, I know you guys have seen this book like literally on everybody's TBR. And people have probably already read it, but I have not. So this is another book that I'm really excited to read. This is about Catalina. She has to convince her family that she's dating this guy that she's not dating. So it has a fake dating trope, which I really love. So definitely looking forward to reading this one. All right, we're finally down to like the last few books. So let's go ahead and get into these. This is I Fell in Love with Hope. Now you guys know I put this on my TBR April, I think, and I didn't read it. So when I'll read it, I don't know. I think I wasn't in the mood to read this one, but we'll see what happens. I'm not much of a mood reader, but I have been forming over to that side a little bit now, so we'll see. I don't know when I'll read this one though. All right, another book I have on here is Snow Falling on Cedars. This is by David Gunnarsson. I did end up picking this book up also from my little library that I had at school, and I think that I'm gonna read this one very soon. This is a murder mystery, which I really love, which is what got me into reading in the first place. So anything with mystery in it, I'm definitely looking forward to read. So this is something that I'm really looking forward to read. Don't know when though. All right, a book I have that is also a summer read is People We Meet on Vacation. This is by Emily Henry. Now, I did read this book for a little bit of time, like last summer. No, actually, I read this like 2 summers ago, and I read like only to like page 78, but I didn't get no further than that, and I didn't read anymore. So hopefully I'll read this very soon because I do want to read this one. It's not that it wasn't interesting, I just didn't have the time to read it, so we'll see what happens. The last Christmas book I have on my list is Nick and Noel's Christmas Playlist by Cody Hall, and guys, it has a playlist. Yay! I'm so excited to read this. I love books with playlists in them, so it makes it even better to read. So I'll be reading this during Christmas, but you know, that's a long time from now. So, you know, we're finally down to the last book we have on this TBR. Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. Now guys, this is something I'm really looking forward to reading. It's a football romance, college romance, and forbidden love trope. Dual point of view. It's already over. Like, this book is going to be my favorite. I don't know when it will be my favorite, but it will be my favorite when I read it, you know. But hopefully I'll read this very soon. Don't know when I'll read it. This has been on my TBR for quite a minute now, but when I read it, I'll read it and I'll let you guys know about it because you'll know when I read it. But this is something I'm really looking forward to reading, and I'm like so excited to read this book. So, you know, I saved the best for the last. Alright, honeybees, now that you have seen every single book that is on my TBR, that means that you made it all the way to the end of this video. And if you did, please don't forget to comment the wind emoji. I know that's really random, but go ahead and comment it down below. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can get notified every time I post a new video. As well as follow me on all of my socials, which are linked down below so that you can see everything I do and everything that I read every single day. And remember, I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.